In this video, I'm going to talk about the limited edition Sisters of Battle Army set and a little bit about my mom. So I'm going to start off with a short little part about my yesterday video, about me needing to kind of pull back from the hobby, and about my mom. So if you're not interested in that kind of stuff, or you didn't catch it or whatever, fast forward to here. So I kind of tried to change some things in the comments to yesterday's video about me needing to kind of quit the hobby for a while, the actual building and painting and that kind of stuff, because of partially because of the basement thing and needing to get that cleaned up, but really it's because of the injury that happened to my mom on Wednesday. And I just want to let you guys know, number one, I am absolutely blown away by the comments and the well wishes and everything, and it's just I can't repay that. So I just want to say thank you very much. On Thursday, which is yesterday to me, but anyway. We got her back to the ER, and they did some more X-rays, and they did find something called a avulsion fracture, and it's where when she twisted her knee so bad, they didn't originally see anything that had broken, but when they X-rayed again, they did find a actual fracture where the tendon had pulled a chunk of bone away from the rest of the femur. And so they admitted her and put her leg in what they call it, a knee immobilizer, which sounds like some sort of ray gun. It's just for shooting people in the knees. There's no surgery. They thought maybe possibly, but there's none. So now she is in a rehab facility as of about 5 hours ago, and so she's got professionals that are going to be able to help her, and so I'm really happy about that. And so it's a big weight off of my shoulders to some degree as well, but obviously there's still going to be plenty of time to. I'm going to have to kind of be working with her and her household, and she's got a dog, and we're trying to see if maybe my wife's parents can dog sit because they've got some animals and some background with that kind of stuff and whatever. Anyway, so again, I really, really want to thank those of you out in the community and let you know that this is what happened, and I'm super blown away. And I wanted to make something clear too, because a lot of people in the comments were like, you don't have to make videos. We'll still be here, and which I appreciate the sentiment so much. But I have two hobbies, and one of them is wargaming, the building and the painting and the playing. The other hobby is video nerd stuff, making videos and films and whatnot. And so if I was to give up, I think, on both hobbies, I think that I would probably go a bit nuts. So I'm going to kind of dial back, like I said, on the actual building and painting while I work on the basement and work on getting my mom better. And I'm going to try to make as many videos as I can, in the same thing, because this is what's keeping me sane. So again, I want to say thank you so much to everybody. And so that's where that's at. So what about Sisters of Battle? So I got this box from GW yesterday. So I've not even really opened it because of all the things that have been going on. But for those of you that are wondering, this is the Sisters of Battle Army set. The folks at Games Workshop said that when Plastic Sisters were coming out, they were saying, the original quote, and I was there at Adepticon, was that Emperor willing, 2019. And this was, I think, last year. Maybe it was at a different convention. I don't remember, but I remember I was at some press event at some convention, and they said, Emperor willing, 2019, Plastic Sisters. Here they are. Here's the deal. This is limited edition. So if you are new to the hobby, this big box, which at this point, I don't even know the price on this big box. As I'm filming this, it's not been released yet for the American price or whatever. So I don't know, and they don't tell me. But I have a suspicion that this will probably not be cheap. There's a limited edition codex in here. Everything else is sort of standard. But there's a limited edition codex in here. There are very few, evidently, copies of this box and whatnot. They put up a graphic. If I can find it, I'm going to paste it here. They put up a graphic saying in different parts of the world, like when pre-orders start, exactly down to the time. So that tells you something. There's not a lot of these. But here's the deal. If you are interested a little bit into Sisters of Battle, because you've never played it before, but you think it might be cool, and the sculpts look neat to you that you've seen on the Warhammer community site and all that stuff, you may not want to get this box. This army set is really, I personally believe for the people who have been pining for the new Sisters of Battle, for the plastic kits and all that stuff, this is for the people who are super hardcore. If you're very interested, but you're still new to the whole thing, and you can find this somehow or get a hold of it, well, sure, knock yourself out. But if you miss this, you're interested in, Sisters of Battle, but these were all sold out, let's say, by the time you get around to it, don't fret. All the stuff that's in here, other than the fancy version of the Codex, which is basically, from what I understand, just a cover difference, all the stuff that's in this box will be available in early 2020, from what I've heard. It's just that I think that they made this box, which did not come shrink wrapped. And you can kind of see here, if you see the texture, you see that? That's corrugated. So it's like they've wrapped the corrugated box and it's a folded thing. I think that they could make a few of these without going full hog and making a giant box that was very expensive to produce. They could make a limited number of these cheaply to be able to crank this out. And that's why this doesn't have the shrink wrap and all that kind of stuff. And again, because it's limited edition. So if you miss this, absolutely understand that basically, other than the Codex, everything else that's in this box is going to be coming out in separate kits. So you can pick and choose what you want instead of just getting the stuff that's in here. It'll be coming out in early 2020. So what's in the box? Well, if we look here on the back, let's see, my table's kind of wiggly, I apologize. There's 25 models in there. There's a whole bunch of different ladies and some as of yet to be determined. I don't know if arcoflagellants, if I'm even saying that right. I don't know if I'm not sure what their gender is. But nonetheless, there's a bunch of great stuff in here. And I mean, the models. I'm going to be perfectly frank with you. I've never been a Sisters of Battle fanboy. It's not that I'm against them. Like, I don't like Eldar. I mean, if you like Eldar, that's fine. You're different for strokes. I personally just don't like them. These, I've never said I like or dislike them. I've never played them. I've never even played against them. So I'm maybe not necessarily the best person to give you the lore and the comparisons, but I can show you what I've got here in front of me. And I mean, the pictures that we've been seeing, I think, have been very, very good. And it's very interesting the way that they've modified the models in comparison to the old ones, which were all either metal or fine cast. They've modified those looks, but kept them still, in my opinion, also alike to some degree. But they've made them more updated, obviously more detail. They're computer built instead of being more hand sculpted. So there's much higher detail, and everything's kind of more proportional and clean and very sharp detail. I'm going to keep saying detail. But yeah, you may not like the way that these guys look in comparison to the previous ones, but I think that they look great. So I'm going to start to open this box and see what's inside. Let's see. We just have to pull this thing down, and then, oh, it's a box inside of a box. That's how they get you. Okay, so put that on the floor. So there's a plastic insert that's got some cards. It's got a bunch of bases, big old bag full of bases. Oh, and some flight stands as well. And then here's our Codex. I think that's a great looking piece of artwork. I really do. Yeah. So this is the limited edition Codex that's going to come with it. And like I said, the limited edition part is basically just going to be the cover. We've got an entire sheet of transfers here. That's pretty cool. These transfers are probably things you haven't been able to get for quite a long time, I would assume. But there's a lot of them there, which is great. There's one of the patented printed pieces of cardboard so that the sprues don't poke holes in your nice book. And then here we've got the sprues. So let me take a look at the book first. It is shrink wrapped. So instead of other stuff being shrink wrapped, this is shrink wrapped. So we'll just open her up. There is a card or a packet in the back you can see here that's got a bunch of painting and building guides, and that's a thing that will just peel off once we get the plastic off. All right, so we've got, luckily, our core rules for 40K. That's important. We've got our Adepta Sororitatis. I can never get that word right. It's not a real word in my opinion, but whatever. Yep, got some other stuff here, and here's your book. Inside looks basically like any other codex. Like they've got a lot of stats in here. Death Cult Assassins, Zephyrim Squad. That's a pretty cool word. I like that. The Dialogus. Again, not a word that I'm able to probably pronounce properly. Repentia Superior, that sounds cool. And it's got, a lot of the same, it looks like a normal 40K codex, but it's got the extra little kind of things going on that each army's kind of got their own little tweaks to the fancy artwork and the stuff and the layout. This has got the wings. There's some great artwork here, photography and things like that. But there's fluff in the front, Order of the Sacred Rose, just a lot of really kind of interesting. Order of the Argent Shroud, Order of the Ebon Chalice. It's all about a color and a thing, it sounds like. The Bloody Rose. The Valorous Heart. That's not a color, I don't think. But, again, great looking artwork. Here we go. This I think we've seen before, but it's showing off, again, just like they do in the normal Space Marine, book. They show off, okay, well, this is part 1 and this is part 2, and there's the numbers and all that jazz. So again, a lot of information and fluff, but this book is exactly the same as the book you'll be able to buy in 2020, except it'll have a normal, cover with probably the artwork and then the title and the whole thing, as opposed to this kind of cool, a little bit more subdued codex. And now we got plastic, which everybody likes. These pieces are, I was looking at them in between little jump cuts here and everything like that. This is the same type of thing you're seeing out of Games Workshop these days, where you can't even barely fit a little pinky in between the gaps. Like, I was just recently looking at a sprue of Space Marine Scouts, and you could nearly fit your entire wrist through some of the holes in that particular sprue. This is a lot of stuff on a very small sprue, which is very interesting. These are, I believe, some of the cherubim were the flying ones, or maybe getting that word wrong. This is definitely an HQ unit. I can't think of the name. But there's not a ton of sprues in here. There's 25 models, but there's one big sprue, like thus, and there are 2 small sprues, like thus, and a single unit sprue. And that's all the sprues in the box. So that's 25 models that you're getting in this box. And again, this stuff will be for sale sometime in 2020. Like I said, I believe early 2020, and this stuff will probably be all separate. This core box, for those of us who are new, just getting into the hobby, and we're hearing a lot about Sisters of Battle, in my opinion, this is for the hardcore Sisters fans. People who've been waiting and champing at the bit. And if you can get one, limited edition, great. But if you miss the boat, which I believe many people will, don't fret, you'll be able to get all this stuff to some degree. Like, I don't know that these fancy cards will be available quite the same, but there will probably be cards that they will sell. They might not just be exactly the same. There's Sisters of Battle dice, which, in my opinion, look like regular dice. I don't see anything special on them. That's interesting. Like, there's not a single symbol that's different. They're just white dice. Interesting. All right. And that's pretty much it. That's the box. So, again, if you're a big fan, then definitely try if you can get this box if you're interested, because this is the only way you're going to get Plastic Sisters in 2019, as they, as the Emperor hoped that you could do as they originally announced it. But otherwise, all this stuff, other than, like I said, the codex will be a little different and you may not be able to get these cards. The rest of the stuff will all be available in 2020. So if you can wait until the new year, you'll be able to start your Sisters Army if you're interested and go down that road. I'm looking forward, honestly, even though, again, like I said, I'm not a Sisters player and I've never been a Sisters player. I'm not planning on starting a Sisters Army. I am looking at these models and really hoping to see what they do when it comes time for Kill Team. Because I think this could be a very interesting Kill Team army. So if a lot of the stuff in the new Kill Team rules that will come out for Sisters, and I know they will come out, if a bunch of those models are in this box, I could see myself hopefully building some of the Kill Team stuff for this, from this box, the Kill Team, that I might give a try and see how it works out. I would say if you're getting interested in playing Sisters and Kill Team, this box is probably not the normal way you would do it. You'd probably buy things a little bit, maybe buy 1 kit or 2 kits and something a little bit cheaper, because I'm sure like the Pentient engine in this, which is the big walking thing, like that won't be a Kill Team thing, obviously. And even the Flyers probably won't. Maybe an Elite, but I don't know. But the regular kind of forces and things like that, I think you probably would see that these be able to fit into those rules. Whether they release the rules in for Kill Team Sisters, maybe in White Dwarf. Maybe they release them in, I don't know, maybe they'll even just release them for free on the community site. That would be really great. But we'll see. Again, I really want to stress this, especially because I know that my videos are aimed generally at new people coming into the hobby. You've probably been hearing about Sisters of Battle for a long, long time. They're a very interesting army, but if you don't get this box, it's okay. If you are hardcore, you're going to want this box if that's really your thing. But otherwise, for people who are hardcore but miss it, and the people who are interested but not sure, you'll be able to get basically everything in 2020. And I think that you're going to probably enjoy putting them together and playing with them. Like I said, they look great. I'm actually, like I said, I've never thought to myself, I really want a Sisters army or even a Kill Team. But after seeing these models and seeing the pictures and things like that they've been showing on the community site, I'm thinking about a Kill Team. So that's the new Sisters of Battle Army set box. And again, limited edition, so good luck. And if you're interested in getting it, you're going to want to try to hop on it as soon as possible.